Here is what the casino doesn't put on a sign. Every slot machine runs on a chip, a small piece of silicon inside the cabinet running a program called a random number generator. The RNG does one thing. It counts, thousands of times per second, cycling through a predetermined sequence of numbers, day and night, whether anyone is playing or not. When you press the button, the machine reads wherever the RNG happens to be, at that precise millisecond, and translates that number into a combination of symbols. The machine decides the outcome before the reels move. The reels are theater, and here is the critical thing. The sequence is not random. It looks random, but underneath, the machine is following a script, the same script in the same order, cycling forever. A genuinely random system is almost impossible to build. What manufacturers built instead was a system random enough that no ordinary player could find the pattern. Ordinary players didn't have access to the source code. Ronald Dale Harris did. The Nevada Gaming Control Board employed Ronald as a field auditor in the early 1990s. His job? Visit casinos on a rotating schedule, open slot machines, pull their chips, and verify the software matched the certified version on file. He had a state-issued laptop, a set of diagnostic tools, and an access credential that let him open any slot machine in Nevada without triggering an alarm. For years, that combination of access and knowledge had made him exceptional at his job. Then, slowly, it started to make him think about something else entirely. He decided to build a chip. He built it in his garage over 6 weeks. The chip he designed was a physical replacement for a machine's original RNG chip, identical in size, identical in socket, and functionally identical in every way an auditor would check. The modification was a hidden trigger buried deep in the code. The machine ran completely normally until coins were inserted in a specific sequence. 3 coins, then 2, 2 again, then 1, 3, and then 5. Any other combination, and the machine behaved exactly as advertised. Input that sequence, and the machine skipped ahead in its RNG cycle to a predetermined jackpot position. The win looked completely legitimate. The logs showed a valid outcome. There was nothing to investigate. Ronald held the only copy of the sequence. He tested it alone in his garage. 11 times. 11 for 11. Then he closed the machine up and went to bed. He recruited Reed McNeil, an old friend who just lost his job, as the front man. Ronald was too recognizable on casino floors. Reed's only job: sit at the right machine, insert coins in the right order, collect the payout, leave. Ronald would visit the target machine during a legitimate inspection, swap the chip, and swap it back out on his next scheduled visit. The machine returned to normal operation. The logs showed nothing. They ran the operation 11 times across Reno, Lake Tahoe, and regional casinos, always below the IRS reporting threshold, always at machines Ronald had audited alone. Payouts ranged from $800 to $2,700. No flags, no calls. From the outside, Reed just looked like a man having a decent run of luck. By the second year, Ronald had grown bored of the chip method. It required physical access, casino visits, swap timing, exposure. He wanted to remove the physical component entirely. He started pulling the technical documentation he'd accumulated through years of auditing. He was looking for something specific, the seed. Every RNG needs a starting value to begin its sequence. Most machines seeded from the internal clock, different boot time, different starting point, unpredictable sequence, in theory. In practice, Ronald had noticed something. Some manufacturers were seeding from a clock precise only to the nearest second. 1 second is a long time for a computer. It meant only 86,400 possible seeds per day. If you knew roughly when a machine last powered on, you could narrow the candidates to a few thousand. He built a program that took 3 inputs: the machine model, the approximate power on time from the maintenance log, and a sample of recent observed outcomes. It matched those outputs against possible seed values, identified the most likely current position in the RNG sequence, and projected forward, not with certainty, but with probabilities significantly better than baseline. Across 340 tracked spins, his software predicted the correct high payout window 71% of the time. For reference, a standard slot machine's odds of a significant payout on any given spin sit between 2% and 8%. He hadn't broken the machine's security, he had broken its mathematics. Video keno was the final evolution. Unlike slots, keno drew 20 numbers from a pool of 80, displayed on screen one by one at regular intervals. The outputs were large and visible, and the keno systems at several major Nevada casinos were running on software Ronald had personally certified. He knew the architecture, he knew the seed methodology. He spent 11 weeks building a keno prediction model that recorded recent draws, identified the likely RNG position, and projected probable numbers in the next draw. Not all 20, but enough of them to shift the expected value of a bet from negative to positive. He tested it from a casino parking lot for 6 weeks, connected by laptop to publicly visible keno boards. It worked. The target? $100,000. Bally's Park Place, January. Ronald had spent 3 weeks analyzing a specific keno terminal, observing its outputs during a legitimate visit the month before, feeding them into his model, identifying a 20-minute play window on the day they planned to hit. Reed sat down at 2:12, played small for 5 draws to establish presence on camera. At 2:17, Ronald's model indicated the window. Reed placed his numbers. 18 of 20 hit. The terminal froze. A floor supervisor arrived. Everything checked out. There was nothing wrong with the machine, because Ronald hadn't touched it, but the security team ran Reed's ID, then cross-referenced any known associates on premises. The database returned one result: Ronald Dale Harris, Nevada Gaming Control Board. The state regulators in New Jersey were called. Ronald was in the parking structure when the agents found him. 2 of them, badges out. He recognized immediately that his name paired with Reed's name in the same building as a $100,000 keno win was exactly the pattern he would have flagged himself from the other side of a report. He put his hands behind his back. During the investigation, Ronald disclosed everything. Every chip, every casino, every swap date, every payout. He handed over the source code for both the chip modification and the RNG prediction software and walked investigators through his methodology, step by step. Total fraudulent payouts across 3 years, several $100,000. The aftermath reshaped the industry. The control board implemented mandatory dual technician protocols. No auditor could access a machine alone. Chip swaps were redesigned with tamper-evident seals, requiring a second digital signature. Several major manufacturers were notified of the seed resolution vulnerability and quietly issued patches. New Jersey changed their keno certification standards. Ronald was sentenced to 7 years. He served 2. He was placed permanently in Nevada's Black Book, banned from every casino in the state for life. The machines he had spent his career studying, protecting, and ultimately exploiting would run without him for the rest of his life. The chips would cycle through their sequences. The reels would spin their theater. Somewhere on a casino floor right now, a machine is sitting on a seed value that Ronald Harris could probably still work backwards from, given a notepad and 20 minutes, but he will never be allowed close enough to find out. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you.